For this video, I'm going to show you how to make a board that can be laser cut for your board game project, an introduction to engineering. I'm going to click Create, and I'm going to select Document. I'm going to call this Board. Click Create. Now I'll say what's different about this versus my other videos is this: we're not going to actually make anything 3D. I know a board game board is technically 3D, it has some thickness, but because we'll make it on the laser cutter, we don't need to worry about that. So I know I'm still using OnShape, but I'm not going to use any of its 3D abilities. I'm just going to draw a sketch of this board. So I'm going to click Sketch, and I'm going to draw it in this top plane. So select a sketch plane, I'll click the top, and I will select top to do a top-down view. So at this point, it really depends on what your board is about. I'm going to do a very basic example here. I'm going to pretend I'm making a tic-tac-toe board. So I'm going to go ahead and select my center point rectangle tool. Actually, let's not do center point. Let's do a corner rectangle. So from the center here, out to there. Now, you always have to add dimensions. Please, please, please do not go past this step without first dimensioning your board. How big is it going to be? If you don't dimension it initially, then later if you try to add dimension, it could mess up some of the sketching you've done if you didn't properly constrain it. But let's go ahead and click Dimension, and let's put some dimensions on this. I'm going to make this an 8-inch tall board. Enter. And down here, 8 inches wide. Don't make something that I don't have the ability to laser cut. So the largest wood I have in the shop is like 12 inches tall by like 16 to 20 inches wide. So don't make anything that's larger than 12 inches in both dimensions. And don't make anything that's larger than 16 inches in any dimension. Ideally, it's even less than that because you don't want to be trying to laser cut all the way to the edge. So make it maybe 11.5 inches max. Also, this will make your project more manageable. I know there's some games out there with really large boards, but it's a school project. Keep it within scope. I'd rather you have smaller but quality stuff than try to spread yourself too thin here. So an 8-inch by 8-inch board is pretty good. 10 by 10, 11 by 11, this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and make now some lines for my tic-tac-toe board. I'm going to click Line here. I'm going to put it right here. Just go straight down. And it wants to draw more lines. I'm going to unselect the line tool. Let me grab the line tool. I forgot one of the things about the line tool is if you click, it'll let you keep clicking. But if you click and drag, it'll do one line. So for this next one, I want to make it the same height. So I'm going to hover over this and move over. That way it's going to start at the same spot. I'm going to click, hold, so I'm dragging. I'm going to come over to this one to wake it up and drag it over. There we go. So now I was able to make those lines the same. Let's do the same thing horizontally. Let's go this way. And then I'm going to go with this one here. I'm going to wake this one up and drag down. Now click, hold, and move over. Come here and down. There we go. Now that doesn't look very symmetrical, and this is a nice board game. I want to make it look good. So let's find some ways to add some dimension to this. So first of all, let's figure out how tall these lines need to be. Let's make them 7 inches tall. And these ones here should be the same, so I'll make them 7 inches tall as well. Now, how far apart should they be spaced? Well, the whole thing's 8 inches. 8 divided by 3, that's not a very nice number. We can do 8 divided by 3. The distance from this edge to this edge should be 8 divided by 3. And the distance from here to here should be 8 divided by 3. That way I've sort of evenly spaced them. Let's do the same over here. And maybe this is something I didn't explain yet. You don't have to do the math. You can make OnShape do the math. So I'm going to type 8 divided by 3. Hit enter, and it says 2.667. From here down to here, the whole width is 8 inches, so I'm going to do 8 divided by 3. There we go. Now I've got this sort of nice little board. Maybe you want to add a little bit more to this. That's fine. Maybe you want a nice border to go around the whole thing. Let's do that. Let's add a little border here. Grab a center point rectangle. I'm going to hover over this center here. Hover over this center. Come down and see if I can get them to line up. There. And let's come out here. And I'll add these lines here so it's a little bit of a nice border there. Alright, let's see here. Let's say I want to make sure this border is nice and evenly spaced around. Let's add more dimensions. Let's say that from this edge to this edge, I want it to be 1/4 inch, 1 divided by 4. And from this edge here to this edge here, I want it to be 1/4 inch. 1 divided by 4. There we are. That was pretty good. All right. Now your board game will be more complicated than this. There's lots of other tools. There's the circle tool. Here we go. There we are. Let me undo that. There's the arc tool. I can click and make arcs, just like that. Most of these tools have lots of options that you can play with. There's the polygon tool. A lot of people like making hexagon pieces. That's there. There's a spline tool where you can just kind of draw this curve, make a path that goes around, double click to end it, or press escape to end it. There you go. So you can do that. Lots of different options. But when you're done, you'll click the green check mark, and you'll see your entire board is now just a sketch. That is all you need. To export that and send it to the laser cutter, you're going to right click on the sketch and click export as a DXF. You're going to say tic-tac-toe board. The format is a DXF, and you'll click export. It'll download that, and that is the file that we can send to the laser cutter. One thing to definitely request you do, please, 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 do not put your board in multiple sketches. Let's say after this I wanted to add an O. I want to add an O on the board. Let me click sketch and click top, and I draw another circle. That looks fine, but when I go and export this sketch, it won't have it. I need them all in the same sketch. So let's delete sketch 2. If I want to add an O, I will double click sketch 1, reopen it, and then I can add in an O here in the center of my board. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, now we can see it's all within one sketch. Don't put it in separate sketches. That becomes a nightmare to laser cut and overlap them and make them fit. I'll probably make you redo that part because it's just way too much work. Okay, but when you send it to the laser cutter, we can select which lines will be cut through, like your border lines, and which lines will just be burned in, just etched, like the center lines here. All right, so that's how you'll make a board. This will take a long time. I know I did that very quickly. I picked a very simple example, but you will probably take a long time to actually draw a solid board. Make sure you start by dimensioning it and go from there. All right.